Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm a med student here in Italy, and I'm currently attending the second year at Sapienza University of Rome. So today I want to speak to you about what it's like to study medicine here in Italy. First things first, I actually want to talk about give you some general information on how medicine school is actually structured here in Italy. So you can either choose between an English course or an Italian course, and both of them needs you to pass an entrance exam called the IMAT for the English course, which stands for International Medical Admission Test, and Testi Medicina for the Italian course. Of course, in order to actually learn from them, you need at least a B2 level of these languages. So you need to prove that by a certificate. But as I wrote here, applicants who have attended a school with English language teaching for at least one school year will be automatically recognized as having a language certificate. So you just need to prove that. Medical schools are long 6 years. 2 to 3 years of these 6 years are actually focused on medical theory, which means that for a while it's gonna be books and PowerPoints. But there are some university that actually gives the students the opportunity to go into laboratories or even shadow them, so shadow the doctors in the hospitals. 3 to 4 years of these 6 years are not only based on theory, but also in the internship. So you can do some hours in the hospital alongside doctors, which are gonna help you and who are gonna keep an eye on you and what you actually practice. And you are gonna to actually practice medicine. So let's talk about the application process. And here I listed a step-by-step process on how to actually apply for a medicine school here in Italy. First things first, you need to register to University Italy. But before going deeper to the other steps, I have to tell you that maybe you need to have a rough idea on what university you actually want to apply to. That said, you need to take some time for yourself and do some research, not only on the medical programs that the university are gonna offer you, but also in the city that you are gonna spend the next 6 years of your life. So take into account also the cost of living, the accommodations, if you actually can afford that, and maybe even the culture of every city here in Italy. After that, after you've chosen the university, contact the university. You can find their contacts in their websites. And they are gonna ask you for different things. And in these things, they're gonna surely ask you for a pre-enrollment application. But if you're from a European Union country, or you're not from a Union European country, but you are legally residing in Italy, then you can skip this step. Then they're going to ask you to apply for a student visa, to register to the admission test, pay the registration fee, which can vary from a university to other, and learn about the procedure of the admission test, check your ranking, and if you're actually in the rank and if your seat is assigned, then you can enroll and then request a permit of stay. So what are the requirements for actually applying to a medicine school here in Italy? First things first, you need 12 years of education. That can be proved by a high school diploma or an equivalent. Then you need a proof of language proficiency, and of course, as I said before, you can just need, if you did just school year completely taught in English, then you can just prove that. Or if you didn't do that, then you can have to pass the TOEFL or IELTS for an English course and the CILS or CELI for the Italian one, and have at least a B2 level in the language. Then the third step is to have a good score at the entrance exam, and that means that you have to have a good score and not only an average score. That is because the medicine faculty is actually very competitive. So you need to do better than a lot of other candidates that wants to apply to your same course. So just do your best. Then, of course, a valid ID document, entry visa, and a residency permit. So the eligibility. Everyone in Italy is actually welcome to apply for a medicine program. You just need to have a high school diploma and that's it. There's not age limit, even minimum grade requirements. I know that there are countries and university that ask for a minimum GPA, and in Italy there's no such thing. So, exam. There are actually 3 types of exam, of entrance exam here in Italy. There's the IMAT, which is the International Medical Admission Test for the course in English, the Test di Medicina for the Italian course, and then there are private universities which have their own set of rules for the exam. So they made their own exam, and for them, you have to contact the university because the rules that apply for the public university here, they don't apply. If you have more information about how the exam is actually made, so how, when, and where the exam should be taken, you can search for this PDF, which is called Bando. Every university have this file where they not only give you a detailed guide of the exam on how the exam is structured, but also they give you the information to apply for their university. So it's very important to search for it, but I personally cannot give you any detailed information on how the entrance exam would work this year, because every year the entrance exam it's different. The modalities change every year, and that's for some time now. So please be updated and search on Google this Bando. Now let's talk about the financial part of the university here in Italy. So the tuition and application fees for medical schools here in Italy. So every university have their application fees. So if you want to enroll to a university, maybe there is one university is more expensive than another, and but the application fees are not that expensive as it can be the tuition. Tuition fees, in fact, can range drastically between being completely free and 20,000 euro a year. And that depends on different factors, such as if the institution is public or private, the annual familial income, the country of origin of the applicant, and finally, the student merit. But first things first, the tuition fees in medical schools are actually based on your familial annual income, and that is proved by a document called ISEE that can be obtained for international students, but is required for us Italian citizens. So this document takes into account every property that your household has and every income. So if you are in a lower income bracket, your fees can be reduced or even completely waived. So the fact is that every tuition is personal for every person based on their income. So what's the ideal student profile? So I know that the international students are used to countries where there is interviews, there's some minimum GPA, even they take into account even the extracurricular activities that every person have made to do a selection of the candidates. But here in Italy, there's no such thing. The only thing that is considered in the selection for the ideal student in medicine school is how good you go to the admission test. So you need to have a very pretty good score, because it's the only thing that it's taken into consideration. Of course, as I said before, the medicine faculty is very competitive because there are many candidates and the seats are very limited. So there is the possibility that you don't pass. But don't worry about it. If you really want to study in Italy, there's alternative courses such as biotechnology, biological sciences, pharmacy, chemistry, and drug technologies. But if you really want to study medicine, if you really want to become a doctor, then you can actually try for the admission tests as many times you want. And if you choose to do an alternative course for the first year, then the next year you can do, you can try again the medicine test, the admission test. And if you really pass the exam, then you can have your alternative course, the years that you have passed in the alternative course are not going to be wasted. That means because there are some exams in the alternative course that are actually in common with the medical school. So if you pass the admission test 1 year after, you can have this exam convalidated and you don't have to do once again. So there are also some universities that actually gives you the possibility to pass directly to the second year. So if you don't pass, if you pass 2 exams in the alternative course, you're gonna go to directly to the second year. Scholarships. So that's the last thing I want to talk about because it's very important. I know that for international students, maybe transferring to another country can be very expensive. But about the studies, you can know for sure that studying in Italy is very affordable. Not only because the tuition is actually based on your income, but also because Italy offers many scholarships, many grants and bursaries. Not only the university di per se, but also the region and Italy in general. So Italy is divided into regions, and every region have this organization that helps students to actually study for their dreams. Because as Italians, we think that study is a right that everyone should have. So every region have this organization that help people and students who wants to study in the university to actually be affordable. So for example, I live in Rome. So we have this organization called Disco Lazio, which Lazio is my region. And this organization offer me scholarships and free meals and also discounts in technology appliances. And if I didn't live here, then I could request even a free accommodation. So there are some residents for the students, and you can ask Disco Lazio, give a request, a formal request in their website, and they can actually offer a free accommodation if you're eligible for that. And that's pretty much it. And if you want to go to study here in Italy, you're very welcome. And good luck. Thank you for your attention.